Hello and welcome back. This video is about the second of a pair of folios that I've made from tissue boxes. I've already done a video about this one, so about the reflection. There's acetate on the window there, this is the second one, which is what this video is going to be about. I just want to say something about fibres. On this one I put this flower and I put this fibre on here. I've been on the search for decent fibre for years, and a lot of people are using this kind of stuff, and I'll just reach for some samples of different stuff I've used over the years. This is the red one that I used on this folio, and it's very stiff and difficult to work with, and also it is limited because of the colour. I don't remember where this came from. I've had it for many years, possibly picked it up at a craft show or something like that. I also have, I've got these metallic ones. That's a coppery one and that's a gold one, which is limited use really. And I've been searching, and I also, just hang on, I'll just get it. I bought these off Amazon, and far too much. I'd never use all this. I'm trying to work out different ways of using it. But the main reason I bought it was to fray this off and use the fibres, and it hasn't actually been very satisfactory at all. So the half the fibres went on. And then I came across this thing on Amazon, which is this. And this is birds' nesting material. It's in their pet department, and this is absolutely ideal, and it's coconut fibre, but it's quite soft. But it's not so soft that it doesn't stand up when you want it to, to take shape, sort of thing. I also, yesterday I put, this is going to make a terrible mess, I put this, put some of it in a bowl of bleach. I've got it a lighter colour now, you can see it's a different colour. So I'll be able to colour it with different inks and things like that. So I think that's going to be quite useful. Now I've got fibres all over here. I'll try and clear those off. It's a terrible mess. And that's what I've put on there. And these are some flowers that I made ages ago that are in my stash. I've got quite a lot of paper flowers that I've made over time. Right, I think that's going to be all right now. Yeah, so that was the first one that I've done the video about, and this is the second one. This is a really much more vintage grunge one, and I've been doing some what do they call it? Oh, I can't think what it's called. The blue light, you know, not infrared, ultraviolet resin. I can't think what they call it. Never mind. Anyway, it's the resin that you put onto the blue lamp, and I made that little charm which I've put on there with a pin. And this is the aperture. This is the standard tissue box that I've made them from, just normal tissue box. So this is the what would have been the top of the box, and these are the two side parts here and here, and the flaps have been cut off, and I made these little discs for a closure. I think there's anything else to say on the front of that. This was some scrapbooking paper that I got at the range, and most of the printables I got them from various different sources. So there's Crafting by Tony, she's done a lot, and there's Margaret from Seven Plaza, and there's Tracy Fox and Tracy from Art House Whimsy, and also Louisa Heinzel. I've downloaded quite a few of their different printables and things, so I can't really tell you where each one came from, really, but just give them credit for that. We undo that, and then the two flaps open, and we've got the folio inside, and I've got some quite new sort of fun ideas in here from the last time. While we're talking about the UV resin, it's called, that's right. I've made that. It's got a little metal ring on, we can see that, and that's got resin in it, and that one has got a little bug in it, and this paper was what I punched the holes out for making these, and I thought, oh well, I'll use that, so I just put the little resin thing in there, and you can see the put some text underneath there. And then another thing I've just discovered recently, this was through Crafting by Tony. She's been doing this faux vintage tape, vintage sellotape. You know, when you get sellotape on old books and things like that, it all goes yellow and stained looking. And she discovered that if you, and I think she and Margaret from Seven Plaza have both been doing this, that you can do it with contact paper, you know, that sticky back plastic transparent covering for books, and you just put smear alcohol ink all over it, and it's got the backing on it, and you can see there's grids so that you can cut it straight and everything, and you can cut out and then just whatever you want, and you can cut whatever size you want, you can print on, stamp on it, you can do all sorts of things with it, and it's much easier to store than doing it on regular sellotape, which you have to put on wax paper, and you're limited with the size of the tape. So I've done quite a bit of that, and so that's also, you can see some, that was some that I did some stamping on, but it didn't come out how I hoped because it wasn't the right sort of ink, but it's quite subtle, but I thought I'd use it just the same. And there's another piece there. In fact, there are quite a few. There's a bit there. There's quite a few pieces throughout the project, and there's a piece there as well. And I love this what they call candy stripe washi tape, but it's really quite difficult to get hold of. I did manage to get some recently, but a little while ago I was shopping, and we went to WH Smith, and I bought this gift wrap on a roll, which is absolutely gorgeous. And so what I did, I mean, this just rolled up what I haven't used yet. I tea dyed it, and then I tore it against the ruler. You can see the torn edge there, diagonally, and tore it into strips, and I ended up with this, and I think this is absolutely gorgeous. And you just put it down, and you can just sand it a bit, and it gets really grungy, and I've got little bits of that throughout this project as well, because I really like the red with the tea dyed look, so those are all new aspects of new things I've discovered recently to use in these projects. And I've got lots of little scraps of inked paper, and this was actually what I did some gel printing some time ago, and this was like iridescent paint, and I didn't like it very much, but I kept it because I thought I might use it for something, and it's really suitable for this, so nothing ever gets wasted really. And this was some letters from the bank actually, and I just put gesso on and ink and acrylic paint, and I've made some really nice background papers with that. That's just some stamping I did on random bits of card. Some more of that paper there, and the background for this is actually a vinyl wallpaper that I think I had on my kitchen in my first house when I moved away from my parents, and it was before I was married, so I mean it's sort of like probably early 80s, something like that. So it's really old paper, but and it was the same on this folio, the lining of this one. You just see there, that floral, that was my bedroom wallpaper. So that's really old, and it's nice to be using these things up. And I've got odd bits of rolls left over from those things, and they've travelled with me over the years. I've got butcher twine there to close it all up. These are some of Louisa Heinzel's gorgeous grungy, like rusted metal numbers and things. So I put some of those on. Now I can't remember whether that was one of her butterflies or one of Seven Plazas. I can't remember where they came from. But when I was doing the UV resin recently, I had a bit left over, so I just brushed it onto the wings of that moth. So you can see the shiny bits on there. Right, I don't think there's anything. Oh yes, these. I bought a dress in a charity shop. I took it apart for because it had some nice dangly bits around the neck and everything. It wasn't anything I would want to wear, and it was too small for me. But I cut the seams off when I cut it apart, and I've used these as tag toppers on this project. Just undoes, and like on the other folio, this closure keeps that flap closed, and also keeps the little envelope closed. So we'll look at the envelope first, and this is lined with some inked paper, coffee. I think it was coffee dyed. I can't quite remember. I had it sometime, did it quite a while ago, with some different coloured inks splashed on. It was all very wet and grungy, so I've used that to line the envelope, and it's got this little tag inside. There's some more of that faux washi tape, and some more of that inked paper on the back. It slots in there, and it also acts as a pocket, so I've got the tag in there. More of the same paper on the back, and there's the same fabric topper on that. That slides in there, and then we lift lift up the flap, and we've got more collage on there. There's some more of that faux vintage tape and the washi tape. This again, I think, was just some inked paper. I can't remember. I've got a lot of this sort of paper in my stash. I really can't remember how I did it all, but it's is spattered with coffee and different things like that. And then, as before, we've got this hidden tag inside this hidden pocket here. But I just put this. Oh yes, this is glued down with matte medium. This is a baby white that I used to mop up some paint with, and I've just pulled it apart, pulled it about, and just put the typewriter image on top of it, so it's a bit more interest with some fibres there. And then we can pull this out, and it's a double-sided tag, so we've got this gentleman on one side, and then we've got that on the other side, which is what shows through the window, or you can put it that way round. So put that back like that, we turn it over, we've got that image, so you've got the choice. And then when you take it out, that's some scrapbooking paper, which I've had for many years, and these flowers were very stark white, so I've just inked them a bit. So I've got a choice of 3 different looks for that one, but that's my favourite one. I like that. So that can go in so that it shows on the front. There we go. Now, is there anything else I need to... Oh yes, this is a pocket, like on the other one I had with the double pocket with the space in between, and that has come unstuck, so that's got to be stuck back down again. It's always a bit of maintenance to do after you finish a project. That's the little tag that comes out. There's the more of that faux tape. And again, that's stuff from the dress. goes in. I'll have to mend that later. That should be stuck down. But, I was going to put St. Brad's on the inside, which are these little screw head ones, because they're quite grungy. But I like the red because it just picks out the rest of the red in the project. Don't think there's anything else to mention. Oh yeah, I've got this one. This little tag here. So there's lots of interactive fun bits you can pull apart and lift up. And I do love the hidden pocket with the tag that comes out for the front. And then we just do up the fastener again. There we go. And this is the that's the blue butcher's twine, which I dyed with some ink because it was a bit too bright white. Yeah, that's it. So I'm going to have some fun with this fibre. It does shed a bit, but I think it'll be alright once it settles down. This is some flat black pearls I put on there. Right, I think that's it. I've also bought a whole pack of 12 boxes of tissues, the square ones, the cubed ones, and I'm desperate. I need to have a cold now so that I can use up all the tissues, because I've got different projects I want to make with the different shaped tissue boxes as well. So this is quite a fun resource to make arty stuff out of, isn't it? Well, I hope you've enjoyed that. There's the other one. Sorry about the light. Make quite a nice pair. So, thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.